Hello everybody and welcome back. Game number 2 starts now. It's Vega Squadron taking on the Yellow Submarine. This submarine not sailing too well. They lost game number 1, a kind of all-in-ish push strat coming out from Vega. I say all-in-ish, they had some pretty good late game as well, but they went full zoo mode with the Shadow Shaman, the Necro books and all that, and well, could be something similar-ish here in game number 2. They go for the Chen in the first 2 picks again, this time with the Vengeful Spirit, which was picked up by Yellow Submarines. They won't be getting Invoker, which they banned out themselves, perhaps recognizing that it is that top pick material hero. And we'll see what Yellow Submarine look to ban here. I imagine bans onto heroes like the Shadow Shaman and the other pushing heroes that Vega were using in game number 1. And they also pick up an early Ember. Good at defending pushes once you get up to the battlefield, but does take some time to come online. So we'll have to see if they really kind of prioritize Ember more as a fighting hero in the early game, or if they try and farm up that Battle Fury. But right now, Vega's draft very open. Even with the Chen, doesn't mean you have to go all in for the push. You can always fall back and pick up some carries as well around this and go for a more balanced strategy as well. But Oracle, here we go. 6.86 Oracle, always some good fun. We'll see what Yellow Submarines can do with it in either the hands of PSM or GoDz, depending on who will be playing that one. And they will ban out the Beastmaster, a bit of push coming from this hero, of course. A Necrobio, and has the attack speed aura. Combos very well with the Venge when you want to go for an all aura strat. So possibly see like a Shadow Shaman as their 4th ban as well, if they're worried about something along those lines. Since Venge can fit into the carry role, and you can very easily run a push strat even with the Venge as well. Venge as a core works even better, I feel, as far as push strats go. So we'll see what the two teams have in mind. Yellow Submarines, one more ban. Vega take out the Queen of Pain as their 3rd ban. As far as Oracle goes, very good in the laning stage, but he's all very kind of single target as far as his damage output goes, but then he's got like that defensive kind of dazzle-like capabilities with the ultimates, the false promise, the mass heals that he can also dish out. So if you don't kill a hero fast enough, suddenly things kind of backfire on you. So we'll see exactly how the pick fits into the Yellow Submarines draft. I imagine they will be looking for a lot of just kind of lane dominance like they did last game. They had lanes that were just going to hopefully snowball them and win them the game. It started off going pretty well, the Gyrocopter offensive trial lane, but where things fell apart in the lane stage was mostly the Batrider lane. He got solo killed by a Centaur because of an Invis rune. And then Shadow Shaman rotates, Batrider dies again, and Centaur got a Blink Dagger about 3 minutes, I want to say, before the Batrider did, which was probably the opposite of what was meant to happen. It was meant to be Batrider getting it much faster, so that could have been a very different game if Batrider had done better. I don't want to say that as if he played it poorly. It was an Invis rune the first time and a Smoke Gank from a Shadow Shaman the second time. So it was very much that Vega recognized, okay, we're losing the lanes, but if we kill this Batrider once or twice, suddenly everything's going pretty well for us. So it was a smart move from Vega, making sure they shut down the Batrider and just let the Gyrocopter kind of punish the Lycan in lane early on. Alrighty, so 2 more picks coming out now. There's the Shadow Shaman ban I mentioned, taking out some of those pushing options from Vega. We'll have to see if they do go for another kind of push-oriented strategy. Heroes like Dragon Knight always come to mind if you want to go for a push strat around the Chen that haven't been banned out. That's the thing. You can ban out Shaman, Beastmaster, but there's alternatives. Other heroes you can plug in. Get a DK for the mid lane. For the off lane, there's the Broodmother, one of Mag's best. And oh, Jakiro! It's this hero, Liquid Fire. Spell that did not get changed, but the hero itself did get changed. +7 base damage. Holy cow, Jakiro, he suddenly gets a lot stronger. If you think back to a few patches ago, Lion got a similar buff, and then suddenly Lion was getting picked every game. So definitely something that could make a difference, and, well, does signify they want to push, they want to end this fast. Seems that Vega are respecting the viewers and myself, saying, oh, it's Christmas Eve, everyone wants to spend time with family. Let's have some good, fast Dota. Let's push, let's end this fast, and then we can get back to our families and celebrate Christmas. Merry Christmas, everyone tuning in. Big thanks to everyone who is joining me here as Game 2 does get underway. Looking forward to seeing what Vega pair around this. So Jakiro could be a support, I think maybe even an offlaner as well as a possibility. Have to wait and see how they look to draft around this one, as we'll see if they go for something like the Dragon Knight I mentioned for the mid lane. It's not really a hero that no one is perhaps known for. He's normally plays those more kind of flashy, snowbally type mid laners, and here we go. Yellow Submarines say, let's get good fighting heroes and the ability to do a lot of damage. Iron Shell on an Ember Spirit when he runs in can be very problematic. And for Vega, Jakiro, as much as you want to push and get some of those aura type items up, he's going to need a fast Yule Scepter just to get rid of the Flame Guard and to allow some kind of initiation onto an Ember Spirit. So we'll see how this works out here as the 4th pick coming out for Vega now. And this is going to maybe reveal a bit more if they're going to be going like full on with the push or not. I mean, even when you're going for a push, we saw last game they still pick up the Centaur as that kind of utility initiator offlaner type role. So you don't want to go 5 push heroes. You want kind of like 3 or 4 pushing heroes with some initiation coming out from like a Bat Rider, a Centaur, and then just having that more well-rounded draft as a result. So we'll see what Vega go for here. Brood suddenly gets less appealing when the Darks is being picked up. And there we go, Dragon Knight it is. It is going to be good old-fashioned push. No one probably in the mid lane on the Dragon Knight. And all they need now, well, depends. They could go for an offlaner if this is going to be Avenge, Jakiro, safe lane. They could put Jakiro in the offlane, pick up a carry to go with Avenge. They could pick up another support. So all you need now is absolutely anything except for a mid hero. You can pick a support, you can pick a carry, you can pick an offlaner. You probably don't want to pick another jungler since you've got Chen. But this is incredibly open as far as the last pick for Vega goes, and that's something somewhat worrying, I feel, for Yellow Submarines. Okay, I think you do want a bit more damage output to be able to, because the main worry is that Ember can run in and just kill everyone with Iron Shell plus Flame Guard, so maybe you want some damage to be able to punish him if he tries to run in. You've got good stuns and lockdown with Dragon Tail, followed up by Avenge Stun. There's an Ice Path. Jakiro can slowly burn away at the Flame Guard, but I wouldn't mind seeing some more kind of burst coming out. The Centaur could work well for them again. I mean, that's pretty good burst. You get some lockdown, you have the double edge, as well as the Hoof Stomp comboing together. And Tusk now picked up. This is definitely where suddenly those 4 staffs again can come into play. Using them, we saw how well Vega used them last game to kind of counterplay the static link and just generally jump into the enemy base, drop Necrobooks, do a lot of damage, and then 4 staff themselves back to safety. So we'll see 5th picks coming up now. Vega ban out the Razor, one of those lane dominators against the DK in the mid lane. Other options are kind of like the Viper, but Razor works better because it gives you some AoE wave clear, a bit more team fight perhaps, and it does work a bit better against the push than the Viper does. So here we go.
10 seconds remaining.
5th ban now coming out from Yellow Submarines.
5 seconds remaining.
What are they worried about as far as push go? They ban out Bat Rider, so you talked about some of those offlane initiators. You're not always going to pick up a 5th pushing hero. You want to get something to give you that more balanced draft, and it will be a Bat Rider ban. So we'll see what Vega go for. The Brood still in the pool, although not to say they definitely want that hero. Mag does play it very well. He's one of the best Brood players out there, but always very tricky to run. And they grab Earthshaker, so there we go. Initiation, control, possibly a Mag hero for the offlane, although could fit into a support roaming role if they want to run the Jakiro as the offlaner and have Venge as kind of a safe lane farming core with Earthshaker support, but we'll see what they have in mind. As far as dealing with the Darkseer goes, I feel like Venge Jakiro possibly the strongest lane they could do, and oh, that's not what we were expecting perhaps. Gyrocopter picked up last. Guess it makes sense. Ember will just be going to the mid lane, not the safe lane. And with a DK matchup, it is a pretty alright lane as far as the Ember's concerned, and they get another really strong fighting hero. This is a scary Yellow Submarines mid game. Got Vacuum into Cooldown, Iron Shell on an Ember Spirit. You've got Tusk, who is just Tusk. I mean, one of the best utility heroes in the game, so all in all, very, very strong stuff coming out from Yellow Submarines. If it wasn't for the fact that we saw what Vega can do last game with a push, I'd be like, well, this Yellow Submarine draft looks a whole hell of a lot stronger than what Vega put together. But always it's going to come down to, can you hold off against the push? If they can have a good early game start, get their levels and fight well, it really does feel like Yellow Submarines are going to have a far superior team fight, and Vega may just not have the answers for them. Mag's Earthshaker is going to have to be clutch in the team fights with the Fissures, I feel, to stand a chance as we'll hop ourselves in. And the ceremonial pause to get things underway. Yes, this is an official Dota 2 game now. We've had our pause. We're going to have a couple of them, and also one right after the draft to make sure people know what's going on. So it looks like the captain, Goriet's yet to pick his hero, and Nicorel, the offlane player, going to quickly DC and reconnect. So we'll introduce our 2 teams. On the Radiant side is the Yellow Submarines. Captain PSM had a small stint on Na'Vi, but most well known for his time with this team at Yellow Submarines. Will be playing the Oracle, the new 6.86 hero. Nicorel will be playing the Darkseer. Scandal, the mid laner on Ember Spirit. Artez playing the Gyrocopter. And that does leave the last support in the hands of GoDz, the captain. And then on the dire side, we'll see Vega. We're going to have Syoma, the Slayer, playing the Jakiro. We've got Pasha, the carry on the Venge. We're going to have Blank, aka No One, on the Dragon Knight. His nickname's actually Blank. This is what I think Valve puts it as when there's just like an empty nickname. So No One has actually got no nickname. Playing the Dragon Knight, we've got Mag on the Shaker. And then finally, Charles Vane, aka Solo, playing the Chen for Vega, as it looks like both teams are ready. They're going to get things underway. Early wards being brought up. Mag with his typical level 1 TP. He's going to drop a ward. Same thing we saw last game, this time without the boots. Probably not a hero you want to go boots first on a Shaker with, as PSM trying to scout things out. Does not see it right away. Here we go. Is he going to scout this? Oh, he sees Mag. He sees him plant the ward. He knows exactly where it is and should get an insta-D ward. And they even drew the line for that. We had, I think it was Darkseer, Yellow, drawing the line towards where it was. PSM will hit it once more. Okay, he's going to take it. 100 XP. That is actually crazy experience for level 1. That's a bounty rune worth of experience. Did that get... That must have been changed, because it used to be 50 XP, I thought, didn't it? I'm pretty sure dewarding was 50 XP, but that is a huge boost for a support to get twice as fast level 2. So we'll see bottom rune be claimed by Yellow Submarines, it looks like, and the top rune going Vega's way. So perhaps doing their homework, checking out the Game 1 replay to know exactly where Mag plants that level 1 ward and taking it out this time around. So perhaps Mag may be going to have to reconsider and mix up his warding patterns, since it seems that was a bit too repeated coming out from him. So for now, not too big of a deal. Does make his offlane a little bit more difficult, and he's going to be scanning out this bottom lane, but likely, yeah, there we go. For clarity, he's going to be spamming the fissure to pull the wave back as much as possible. And we're seeing this more and more. Chen starting at this big camp here, although I'm not sure that's going to still be the case. He's got a lot more camps available in this dire jungle, but something, if you're going to be really aggressive with the Chen, often that's the case. Say aggressive, he looks to go for the mid lane block, slightly fumbles it, but see how much that comes into play. It is going to be Tuss doing the same thing on the Radiant side, and the Radiant block looking a whole lot better for now. So Scandal up against No One in the mid lane, and here we go. Chen will come back for that big camp to get things started. Mag just using the fissure to block the lane back as much as possible. Nice play by PSM. Does get the clarity cancel, but the fissure block not as great as you'd hope for Mag, and he's taken a lot of harass here early. The fissure does keep his creep wave nice and far back, and this is one of the nice things about the Earthshaker offlane. And with the offlane changes, we may be seeing more Earthshaker picks, just because the offlane does get a lot harder once again. Centaur coming in, just looking to offer some support here. And first blood mid lane. Okay, Tuss says hello.
Now who wants to be second?
Alright, let's hope I catch that second, Mr. Tusk. Better keep an eye on him, since he's making calls already that he's going to be finding that. But yeah, mid lane, DK goes down. Scandal, with the help of the Tusk, secures himself an early kill. Trading blows, and Tusk must have just got that last hit. It's not a Christmas Eve without a Miss First Blood, guys. Top lane, Syoma doing good harass onto Nicorel, who's got the Iron Shell at level 1, which means no surge available. Perhaps making life a bit more difficult for him. We see Nicorel still juking out here at the top lane. He's still not level 2 yet. That slow into a stun could cause him problems. Can he get in the range for it? He should be able to do so, just barely. Here comes Tuss, but it's too late. Kill goes the way of Vega. We tie things up here. Don't think we'll be able to see a kill from the Tuss. He goes for the Ice Shots, just catches one. Doesn't actually go for the Venge. Ends up taking more damage than he dishes out. This Chen will secure the top 2-minute rune. Oracle goes in bottom and finds himself one. And we'll rotate back towards this bottom lane. Mag, clarity up, but that's going to get cancelled. See the Purge into... What? Okay, there we go. The Purge heal combo, and you do some good damage with that. Purge is off the heal, and nice little bit of Oracle play there, as Chen is now rotated towards the mid lane to offer some assistance here against the Ember Spirit. Considering the Ember did get that early kill up from the Tusk, this lane not going as well as the Ember maybe would have hoped for. It's even on CS, and the kill did go the way of the Tusk, which means Scandal did not really get all that much out of it. Tusk still lurking around top, probably just looking to mess with this creep equilibrium a bit, but I think he still needs to tango on through here. Can't actually pull this side camp right now. It's like a bit more difficult. Let's say Scandal going for his career. Is that a thing? Not when you're an Ember Spirit, apparently. Breathe Fire not enough to purge off the Flame Guard with the damage. So Ember will be just fine there. Blocking the Breathe Fire damage. Does get the minus physical damage, but can still last it just fine, even with slightly reduced damage and with the Flame Guard still up. So here we go. Early game laning stage. Pretty even across the two teams, I feel. And when you're running a jungler, that is always pretty good for the side of the jungler, since that is meant to make your lanes a bit weaker. YeS just throwing out more harass onto Mag. Keeping that spam going. Doesn't have any mana regen left here, which does make life a bit more difficult. But most of his spells not too mana intensive, the Purge being the one that is fairly. And now with level 2 on the Purifying Flame, that gets up to 60 mana. There you go, Aggression coming out top. It looks like the Chen rotated in looking for Nicorel, but he's level 3 now, so has the Surge available, of course, and we'll be able to use that to get back to safety. Very much kind of neutral here, it feels like, between the two teams. You look at all three core heroes on the Radiant side getting CS. Dire side, 2 of the 3 cores getting CS. Mag just getting levels, which is what you'd expect out of a Shaker. Oh, Tusk! Snowballs in, manages to go past the Test of Faith, not enough damage, and you can't hit that Centaur stun quick enough with the Snowball on through. So Tusk will keep himself alive, throws an Ice Shards backwards, gives him and his team a bit of vision there, but he's looking to head back to Fountain to heal himself back up, but be on his merry way. So DK Ember pretty much going blow for blow as far as early CS goes. DK actually slightly favored even, so no one just managing to play a very good mid lane here. Not sure if that ward got scouted here. Scandal planning it while taking some creeps there. If you kept an eye on it, you could have perhaps seen it on the side of Vega, but right now no sentries inside as far as the mid lane goes. There is one on solo if he wants to swing down there and check it, but TP coming bottom. Tusk is rotating, saying, let's try and punish this Shaker. He is going to be swinging towards mid, though, with the clarity online. I think he's decided now is the time where bottom lane is just going to be too damn risky to stay. He's going to lurk around mid, expecting perhaps the Tusk to be rotating towards this mid lane, or just hoping for a kill. With DK hitting level 6 and Scandal not having mana for a Fire Remnant out, this could be a kill opportunity. I say he doesn't have mana, but with a magic stick, it means if you cast a spell or two on him, you could look to set up and get that kill. So this ward range, pretty good, and Scandal's bottle about to return to him, so he will get that heal and sustain for the lane that he needs. Bracer picked up by no one, so he's just going for the early stats, survivability. We see again this Dire Ward on this cliff, so they can keep track of Nicorel pretty well as far as his position's concerned. And there we go. They get the vision they need of him. Soul Ring about complete for the Darkseer. He can always rotate in the jungle and farm there if he feels like this top lane gets a bit too risky for him. That's a rotation from Mag. Actually headed towards top, and this has not been scouted out by any Radiant Vision whatsoever. Unless he walked past this ward, which is, I guess, possible. Not entirely sure if that's okay, if that's what happened, but with the Darkseer's positioning, it seems to suggest maybe he did scout out Mag's rotation. If he didn't hug this side in the fog, he would know what's going on here. We'll see if Nicorel pushes up. It looks like that may be the case here. Chen actually going to be the one who goes towards the top lane. Mag swoops back towards mid, so he'll see that Shaker at mid, I believe. Yeah, he sees Shaker mid. He's maybe just be like, okay, this lane's safe. Shaker's there. Okay. Initiation. Scandal goes in. Fire Remnant is available defensively if he needs it. But good heads-up play from Darkseer. Says, yeah, I see the Shaker, but this Chen could be coming up to mess with me soon. Chen going to poke his nose out, and it looks like he's not going for the kill. He's just going for the tower here. The TP scouted out from the Tusk. The creep's just going to be used as kind of body blocks here. Clap, hoof stomp. Creep's taking a lot of damage here, but they just want the tower, and it looks like the tower they should get. One more Liquid Fire, just level 2 now. Another TP from the Oracle. The Ice Shard's off the mark. Becomes a 4th hero. Ember on the move. He's got the Flame Remnant as well if he wants to go forward. Fire Remnant forward. Can he get the Searing Chains? I don't think he can. He's got the mana for it, but he doesn't have the range, and without Sleight of Fist, he doesn't get the jump. So 4 Vega heroes, 4 YeS heroes rotate to try and stop Vega. They get the tower regardless. Actually went the way of the Chen, and uh-oh, they're going to lose a kill as well. So Nicorel left on his own. The rotation already back coming out from Ember as well as Oracle, and not only do they get a kill, they get a tower, and they're already pressuring mid. You rotate 4 heroes top, no one says, sweet! This mid tower is mine. DK could go for a stun if he wants to secure this one and not let it get denied. Possibly worried about paying for that with his life. And there we go. Gets the Son of DK with the damage over time. Gets the tower last hit. He doesn't even mind if he goes down here. TP. Can he get it in time? No, he can't. Very close. The Searing Chains just barely got the cancel off, but still worth it. A good trade for Vega. DK getting a TP. I believe he spent his money before he died there. I didn't. Maybe you guys on the Twitch chat saw that one since the DK was selected, but I didn't actually see if he bought these before he died. But he may have not lost any money as well, or lost very little money out of that one. As we'll see a second tower go Vega's way, and they've already taken 2 of the 3 outer towers pre-10 minutes. Chen's got Arcane Boots up. This is the kind of start you want to have when you're going for like a DK Chen kind of push strat. Venge has the max done now. Treads Aquila 1. This is kind of like your early game fighting items that you need on a Venge. We'll see what build you go for. And a push strat, I wonder if it changes. Normally we've been seeing the Helm of the Dominator type builds out of Vengeful Spirits. Still a good option. You don't need the creep as much because Chen can take any creep with the aura, the ice armor, whatever it may be herself. But maybe you want to stack Ancient, secure some late game farm. Maybe you go for something like a Drums on the Venge. DK's got the Bracer, but I imagine more likely on the pushing DK you want to go for like a fast BKB or possibly even get like a Blink Dagger for the initiation. Have to wait and see. Right now Shaken not quite getting the levels you'd hope for on the offlane, just level 4, and some of the levels on this dire side a bit lacking, but they are pretty much matching up with the Yellow Submarines here. As you can see here, it is a slight XP lead going their way, the gold advantage going Vega's way, and I'm going to imagine Vega going to be looking to continue to push fairly soon as well. There we go. Helm picked up. Venge will be going for that Helm of the Dominator build. The standard core Venge build that we've been seeing time and time again. As far as wave clear go, you've got Ice Shards this time coming out from Yellow Submarines. Also really nice just to split the fight up. If you want to defend against the push, you can use it to like lock a hero in the Ice Shards and the rest of his team gets stuck behind him. So it is a pretty nice hero to have against the push, but you've got Fissure as a counter initiation, you've got DK in the front lines who's going to be very tanky, Jakiro who's also fairly tanky as far as supports go, and Scandal knows he has a Remnant, so we'll be able to get back to that for safety if he needs it here in mid. There we go. Farms up the lane and possibly looking for his next rotation soon. Haste Rune at top. Oh, can Solo get there for a deny? Does not. Oh, with that Fissure! Solo's going to grab it and perhaps should have just left it for the DK. I don't think they were quite sure whether they had it or not. The race for the rune is won by the Chen. Bounty Rune picked up by the Tusk in the bottom lane, and neither mid laner will get it. Perhaps the DK who needed it most, but he's in ulti form now. See if he can get any damage done to any towers here. I don't believe this ulti will amount to too much. Probably just going to spend some time farming. Vega not quite ready to go for the push here. Maybe they look for a smoke gank, I feel, at this stage. This is where they'd ideally want to try and find some pickoffs. Secure their core items. Looks like an urn going to be coming out for Sioma on the Jakiro. Solo wants the mech, of course, for the team. Mag doesn't really get much farming time right now as far as picking up a Blink Dagger goes. He's just going to have to get that through the tower gold and through getting some maybe pickoffs and kills. Ooh, nice little attempted double stack. I'm not sure if how possible that one is there, but he stacks the Ancients as he comes back, tries to get the stack onto the neutrals as well. Perhaps if he used the Breathe Fire, would have made it a bit more possible. That's a nice little bit of efficiency play, at least attempted, coming out from no one. Who's sitting on 1360 gold does suggest he will be looking for that Blink Dagger rush. If not a Blink Dagger, a Shadow Blade rush is the other kind of option. Depends how much he wants to secure his late game. Shadow Blade obviously being a bit more of a carry-oriented item since it gives you damage, attack speed, and all that good jazz. And with Avenge Core, maybe feeling like he needs to provide that secondary carry for his team. But right now, holding on to money. And you can still go the Blink Dagger and transition into more carry-oriented items, the SMY, the BKB, and all that. It really just depends on how much you want to push and end the game fast and early. So Jakiro, no real signs of what he's going to be doing next as far as his items go, apart from the Gauntlet. Is trying to secure that level 6 here, and uh-oh, hello! Get the neutral, but that's because he's being chased down here. TP after the Searing Chains. Sioma, nice bit of play there, will get himself out. And it's a farming state of game for both the two teams right now. And for Yellow Submarines, they're going to be somewhat wary of, okay, we're farming and doing pretty well. They're going to have a fast mech, but what can they get done with it? Like, they don't want to just sit back and let towers fall, and that's very likely what's going to be coming their way. So they're getting everything they can in this little breathing period where they're not being pressured, but you know it's coming and coming soon. I feel like they have the answers to defend this, though. They've got mech on Darkseer. He's healing up at base, then he's going to be ready to fight. Just the 1 point in vacuum is perhaps what they're lacking here. Multiple TPs coming in. Vega do see this coming. The Centaur scouts out everything as well, and that gives them the information they need to say, okay, we either bring more heroes and take this fight, or we back off and continue to farm ourselves. And without the Blink Dagger on no one, it does maybe get a bit more tricky to fight this one. Scandal pops the Flame Guard. It really feels like giving Jakiro some farm to get up to a YeS Scepter could be very important for Vega this game. Just because of the nature of how it can deal with the Ember Spirit. Speaking of Ember, Arcane Rune, this is not an Ember you want to be fighting right now. The shorter cooldown on all his spells, the lower mana cost from Searing Chains, and a hero that can have mana problems if he's using Fire Element, the 1x1 especially. And yeah, I think Vega recognized, like, okay, we've got a push strat, but they're actually a whole lot stronger than us right now with mech. They need to have the catch ability of the Dragon Knight. Probably see him like drop his Stout Shield, maybe even look to sell that one off. And with the 5-man push coming towards the bottom lane, DK was looking to pressure towards mid, but no ulti form up, which means he won't get the corrosive attack onto the tower, and already rotations coming his way to defend. Gyrocopter's there, and Artez will be able to keep the lanes in check. So, game looking pretty good for the Yellow Submarines. In fact, they're not really in a position where they're threatened by the push right now. Like a 5-man push from Vega can be dealt with pretty well. Now gonna try and TP out. Ooh, barely makes it out. The Chen heal, not sure if it saved him or not, just the 200 heal, but it was very close to a kill onto Mag's Shaker there. 900 gold up on him, and we'll see the rotations back towards bottom as Chen and Dragonet look to pair up, perhaps knowing that YeS TP'd to some of these side lanes. They see Scandal up top. He's now got a TP scroll and Perseverance, looking to rush the Battle Fury. You talked about this, you want to try and get it at a pretty good time when you're worried about the push strat. No kills coming the way, but a very strategic game. And a lot of pressure coming out on the map from both teams. Vega say, let's push bottom. YeS respond. Vega then push pressure the other lanes. YeS then TP to the other lanes. And Vega suddenly back bottom and will get the tier 1 tower. But we'll see if it comes at the cost of this top lane. A very tricky tower to defend, mostly because the rest of the Yellow Submarine heroes are missing. So they don't know exactly where the rest of the team are. They know that this kind of rotation is going to happen. So 3 more Submarine heroes are here at the top lane, and Scandal should be able to secure this on his own. At the same time, Vega were cautious about pressuring the tier 2 because they don't see heroes on the map right now. And it looks like they're just going to back off and farm and play things somewhat passively here. Chen getting run into. The Ice Shard's not going to pull him in, and perhaps just going to try and take out this Alpha Wolf. But even that not easy to do. Artez won't have the damage to bring it down. Could have gone for a Rocket Barrage perhaps, but won't get the kill on the Chen creep. And there we go. Blink Dagger picked up by DK, then goes into an Ogre Club. So either a BKB or an SMY. And with a push strat like this, if they want to end the game fast, definitely a BKB game. Depends if they decide to... If they decide, okay, we can't really push, YeS is too strong, and now SMY perhaps more of like a good transitional item to go into the BKB, but this does allow them to push. Grabbing an Aegis for themselves, a classic trade. Top tower for an Aegis. Often you see it for the top tier 1 in a more one-sided game, but being the nature of this game a bit more even, Yellow Submarines playing a lot more pressure will get the top tier 2 this time. There's no one. Maybe not going to be the carry. It's going to be the Venge who picks it up. Allowing Venge to play a bit more aggressively, and it won't be Venge going BKB. Going for an SMY Dominate build does leave her very, very vulnerable to the nuke damage coming out from Iron Shell, Flame Guard, Cooldown, Ice Shards, everything on this Yellow Submarine side screams you want a BKB, but you go BKB first item, you're not going to dish out much damage. That's why Venge, I think rightfully so, is going for the SMY, and it will be the DK on the front lines who doesn't need the Aegis as much. With the DD popped, here we go. This is the same as last game. Let's push, let's take towers, and let's see what the Submarine response is going to be. They're going to at least be able to force TPs back. Still needing the Battle Fury is the Ember Spirit. That's going to be a key tool for defending, especially against the Chen creep, seeing that cleave damage bouncing off them. And Vega, despite having an Aegis, aren't ready to push high ground yet. They're still tier 2 towers should they want to take it, and they're also missing key items. You look at Mag, doesn't have his Blink Dagger just yet. Jakiro picked up the urn, so we're not going to be seeing that YeS Scepter I mentioned earlier. Definitely feel like at this stage, once Shaker has a Blink, you prioritize farm going to Sioma more than you do other heroes. Chen also with a mech now. Perhaps a hero you want to farm up a Aghanim Scepter on. But if you want to see a hero kind of transition more into the kind of ward bitch role, I feel like that's Mag once he has Blink. Jakiro with a YeS Scepter. I guess you could get the YeS Scepter on Mag if he's getting more farm out of the map, but it just combos so well with the Ice Path, and it is the counter to the Flame Guard, which perhaps Vega need. They've got okay magic burst damage to bring it down right away, like with a fissure into breathe fire and perhaps like a liquid fire. They could take it out in reasonable time, but then that's their nuke damage out of the way. The magic missile also there. So if anything, I think they'd rather have a YeS Scepter and use that as the setup for the catch. Going for a tier 2 tower now. And again, this is a very risky time for Vega to be pushing, though. Even though they've got the Aegis, they haven't got the BKB yet, and it looks like the plan is for Yellow Submarines to try and contest this one. Jakiro gets a ward up. When the smoke pops, that's good news for Vega. It means they will have vision. They see PSM now. I think that reveals the fact they were smoked. Will they look to fight this one? They blink in with the DK. He gets out of the cooldown as a result. Pasha the only one caught inside it, which he's okay with. He's got the Aegis. It will pop immediately. Blank, no one. Blink, Echo! Mag catches out the entire team with that one. Artez gets low, and Pasha respawning. Will go to fight here. Could he get the swap on Artez? He had it, but no, he goes for the Tusk instead, gets the stun out, takes out the team wipe, and Gyro died in the fountain to the Chen? How does that happen? I'm stumped. I'm not sure what happened there, but Gyro somehow got chased down in his fountain. I'm not sure. Chen doesn't really have any damage over time. Perhaps like an attack animation following him, and it's going to be another kill. And with 5 dead, suddenly you're on the high ground. So Vega didn't look like they'd have the ability to break high ground. They didn't quite have the BKB yet on the Dragon Knight, but with one successful team up by DK getting off the blink stun so he didn't get blown up by the cooldown. And that cooldown has to catch more heroes than just one. All that was caught was the Venge, who had the Aegis, and that just doesn't cut it. That heals bursted out from the Chen, the mech, as well as the Hand of God, just proving to be too much for the Submarines to DPS through. And also, they didn't even have the max out vacuum, so even with that big teamfight tool, didn't quite amount to enough for the Submarines. Blink Dagger now picked up for Nicarol, possibly an item that he really needed during that fight. And man, it's a sad sight for a Darkseer when you're 0-2 and 0 at this stage of the game. Just the Tusk who's been able to pick up kills for this team, and this is a Darkseer Ember draft. You think Tusk, Darkseer, Ember, 20 minutes in the game, this is a draft where you should be seeing 10 plus kills on these heroes. Ember should be having a field day, and a lot comes back to that top lane rotation where they TP in 4 heroes, including the Ember, who with Fire Remnants is meant to get kills there, but they just couldn't quite get the catches that they needed. Vega taking a full lane of racks this early on in the game, suddenly looking very good. Chen picks up a Vlad saying, screw Ag Scepter, let's go all in, let's try and end this game early and as soon as possible. And with a lane of racks, more than anything, that gives them a huge amount of gold. Suddenly the Jakiro has most of the components of a YeS Scepter, which he was only like 500 gold towards a few minutes ago. Racks and tier 3 towers is a huge gold boost, and that's where these fast, like 20-minute push strats, if you can take a lane of racks pre-20 minutes, Jakiro's net worth just like increased by about 50%. It almost doubled, I want to say. And suddenly item progression is a reality. They're looking for a Darkseer pickoff. Can they find it here? Chen's rotating in as well. Darkseer as a TP. Sioma. Scouts out with the out. Okay, Ice Path actually going to miss here, and they've got no TP cancel left. So they're swinging towards bottom now. Aegis no longer in their hands, and it will be a Manta actually picked up by Passion, not the SMY. Bit of a deviation as far as his skill bit's concerned, but Manta Illusions, a bit more push power coming out. And overall, a very similar item to the SMY, which did receive some slight nerfs in 6.86, so we'll see next Roshan in 3 minutes. I believe that's a pretty, yeah, that's a really fast Rosh respawn. This is like close to the minimum. And now the push
Dire's
goes
middle tower
forward.
is under attack. Dire's structures are fortified.
Okay, so the Gyrocopter dying was the false promise wearing off. Okay, I didn't quite realize he'd been false promise, so thank you Twitch chat for joining me and making sure I'm aware of what happened. But yeah, the false promise from Oracle, he died in the fountain to the Chen damage. He's called on getting deployed here, no one. With a plate mail in hand, suddenly not as squishy as he once was. May need some heals here. Earn charges, are there any? Yep, they've got 3. Heal up the Dragon Knight, he can just go back in. Could pop the DD if he wants to, but it looks like he wants to maybe hold on to that one for a fight. Goes in with the BKB, fights on the Artis. He waited for the BKB to pop before he used the DD. Nice bit of play there from no one. And now on the front lines. This DK, very tricky to deal with. He blinks back as the BKB wears off. Good defensive play. They get some good damage onto the melee racks. They've got to commit to this one if they want it to be permanent damage, though, which is where maybe going for the range racks would have been better. And TPing back is Pasha, suggesting this push is now over. Dragon form wearing off, and this damage will be healed back up. That's the good news for Yellow Submarines. The bad news is they lost a tier 3 tower, more money going the way of the Vega Squadron side, and this game getting trickier and trickier. The Yule Scepter complete. Yep, you betcha. Sioma's got it. Eat your mango, buddy. Or pull your mango. Do something with your mango. Om nom nom. Come on, buddy. Make it item slot. There we go. Mango smoothie for breakfast. Sioma now has that Yule Scepter, and the smoke coming from submarines. Roshan not possible to have respawn yet, so we'll see what they're looking to get done with this one. They want to hold on to a smoke, I feel, for that very Roche. Not sure if they actually have any other smokes to fall back on. I don't see any on the items. One on the courier? No. So they're using a smoke somewhat early here. Perhaps thinking that if they can find some key pickups now, it will help them out a lot, but I'm not going to get too much out of it. Chen now with an Ogre Club, most likely building towards the Aghanim Scepter. And Scandal. One Battle Fury is going to be all it is right now for the defense. Probably building into a Krill. Let's say 2 Battle Furies, and I was like, no, this is a Krill. Get the Crystallis. Go from there. Has he got it? No. Vlad's pickup for a Tusk. Ah. Not your everyday item, but the mech already bought. The other item you normally see picked up is like an early Blink Dagger, but I guess deciding that what's a Blink going to do when they're 5-man deathballing? You're blinking into a lot of heroes. Perhaps if there's one hero you want to try and isolate and kill off, but doesn't seem to be the case here. And now we go. Another round of DK Ultimate, another round of tower damage. They don't even have to get a lane of Raxi. They just want to do some good damage here. Back off a little bit. They're actually going to swing themselves towards bottom lane. DK blinks in. He says, melee Rax. Oh, wait, that's fully healed again. Let's just get the range Rax here. Cooldown being used here. Vacuum's there. Onto 2. Chen needs to throw out the heals, and heals fast. Snowball will finish off the Chen. The Fissure comes through from the Earthshaker, looking for a Blink Echo, perhaps. Sioma. Yule's already thrown out here. Blank fighting an illusion of himself. Now the swap on the side here, looking for the Tusk. Should be able to get the Tusk. Probably time for a retreat as far as Vega concerned. The DK Ultimate wearing off, and Dragon Lance picked up from Pasha. I like it. Extra range on a hero who doesn't have the best range, and they do a bit of damage to the range racks. They chew away at a BKB charge on the Dragon Knight, but overall a pretty successful poke at the yellow submarine base. I was going to say a push, but it wasn't really a successful push. They just kind of poked at the range racks a bit, forced a fight, and forced some forced their own BKB to be used in a 1-for-1 trade. So a bit of a null trade, but for them it's like, well, I don't think they realize how fast Roche respawn. If anything, they're like, well, we got Roche in a couple minutes. If we can find like a 50-50 trade or a slightly advantageous trade, we'll take it. And damage on a range racks is at least something. So next Roshan likely to be going Vega's way fairly soon. Has it been scouted by the Radiant side? Yes. Gyro Dominator, one of these useful items we're seeing more and more of just because of the ability to scout out Roshan. And there we go. He'll find the Dominator creep there, take it out, even pop the ultimate. If you see that ultimate on the submarine side, you're like, he's not using ulti to push, he's using this to go for Roche. Now you need to be careful not to get caught here, but this Roche is going to drop and drop fast. This is where you wish you had a smoke still. It's up in 20 seconds, but they're just going to have to run towards Roshan with no knowledge of really where Vega are positioned and no smoke to bypass wards. So Vega's vision, a bit deep, not really protecting around the Roche pit area. They do D-ward some Radiant Vision around this area, and it seems YeS want to contest this one. They're at least nearby. They're sending in another Radiant creep here. They dominate one. They've got to get in soon. Everyone's here except for the Darkseer, and it seems the Darkseer is who they're waiting for. And the problem is, Darkseer may get here a bit too late. They slow down the Roche, though, with a nice Ice Shards. Keeps Venge out of the pit for a little bit longer. Now with Darkseer here, this Roche gets a whole lot riskier for Vega. It looked bad for a bit there when Darkseer, perhaps too slow to the party. Problem is, this top lane will be pushing out. It is a lane taken by super creeps. So eventually someone will have to go back and defend, and that's when Vega will look to go back into the Roshan pit. Chen just pokes his nose forward. He says, you want to scout this out with Dominator? We'll see about that. Antez will have to pick up a new creep, and here we go. Smoke forward. Pasha looking to fight. They've got Radiant Vision here to scout this one out. The vacuum whiffs and the wall. Oh! Catastrophe coming out from the Darkseer. Nicorel doesn't even need to be the target. He's wasted all his spells. PSM on the side. False promise onto himself. I believe he still will be going down if this one. Trying to heal himself back up. May survive the Ice Path. There we go. Does heal back up. Scandal now caught up by the Dragon Tail. They lose PSM, and Scandal needs to remnant himself the hell out of this one. He will be getting chain stun in a second. Stun onto 2. Fish onto 2. Ice Path onto 2. DK stun onto the Ember Spirit, and they lose more. Oh boy. Snowball will delay the inevitable for the Tusk. They're going to lose 4 around the Roche pit again, and this is where they called GG last time. They were down Raxes. They were down more Raxes than this, but a lost team fight, which cost them a Roshan, just spelled their demise, and it seems like it's the same thing this game. Losing 4 at the pit, losing an Aegis, and oh, DK Ultimate conveniently back up with an Assault Caress. AC, DK, Aegis in Pasha's hands. The push is real. Submarines are sinking. And sinking fast. There's leaks all over, and somebody needs to patch them up, and it just doesn't look possible here. Arcane Rune even. That's actually ridiculously handy for a DK. He has all kinds of mana problems normally, but now he can just span on the Breathe Fire. He gets pulled into a vacuum, pops a BKB afterwards to be on the safe side. Tez gets taken out. Has got the buyback though, which he's going to have to use to defend this lane of Rax. It looks like he's not even using it. Perhaps just succeeding to Vega's dominance here. He's going to not even... Darkseid buys back. Jaro is still holding on to his. Deciding this game's over. Why aren't we GGing our team? Artez is like, nah. It's over. Let's go celebrate Christmas, guys. Although CIS countries perhaps celebrating Christmas at their own time, but perhaps respecting the viewers who maybe do want to celebrate Christmas. There we go. GG's called. Another quick push strat coming out from Vega. Ends the series 2-0. Yellow Submarines are eliminated from the BTS Europe. And Vega go through to the round of 8 quarterfinals as they look to compete for their share of the $10,000 prize pool here. A quick single elimination tournament. I believe top 4 getting payouts, and right now Vega looking pretty solid, showing that push strats, death ball, TI4 like strats are back in favor perhaps, or maybe just looking to end things fast here and go back and celebrate whatever holiday celebrations they may have. But that does it, guys. That's it for today. We only had 1 match. There was a second one scheduled, Team Alternate versus Hellraisers, but that match has been postponed, I believe, until tomorrow. So we'll possibly have a European Dota match tomorrow at some point, so keep an eye out for that one. I'm not sure the exact time yet, but our admin Andre will be informing me hopefully soon. But tonight, guys, check out the Radiant and Dire Cup. Perfect World is hosting a LAN tournament with the best teams in China. I'm talking Vici Gaming, eHome, LGD, IG, CDEC, and more. 8 of the best teams in an 8-team double elimination LAN. I'll be counting that for 3 days straight. It's going to be some good Christmas fun. So if you guys aren't doing too much over Christmas, or you'd like someone to keep you company, I'll be here on the Beyond the Summit stream, casting away some great Chinese Dota. What better way to spend Christmas, huh? Maybe with family, but with Dota, it's not a bad second. So guys, thanks everyone for tuning in. It's been a lot of fun. You can follow me on Twitter at BTS GoDz for all your updates, all your Dota 2 BTS related news and all that. But that does it for now. Vega advance. BTS Europe continues probably tomorrow, if not tomorrow, on the 26th. Be sure to tune to Beyond the Summit later tonight for some Chinese Dota, and we'll see you guys later.